All right, so Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to start off by saying Barakatham, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000. Shalom. All right, so this lesson comes through the inspiration, the spirit of Prophet Bahashem Yahweh Shah. As I was watching Elder Apostle Rumlock video, right, and I had put this in my notes early this morning. I was watching the video. I wanted to go into this, right. I just put Isaiah 42:9 because that's the start preacher I want to go into, right? Because in a sense, this topic I spoke on a lot. Yahweh Shem Shah has set up his watchmen, right? Because Yahweh Shem Shah is, it's an ultimate test through the spirit that's going to come upon our nation, right? And there's a lot of things that's going to come upon our people, right? And we, and the ones who overcome is because they listen, and the ones who don't overcome is what? Because they turn away. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't, fear or respect Yahweh Shem Shah in a sense, right? Because so first of all, let's go to 2 Kings real fast. 2 Kings 17, right? And it's going to bring this out because right here, right? 2 Kings 17, now I started at verse 7, right? Because when these things came upon us, like, persecution, slavery, and all these type of things, because we went against Yahweh Shem Shah. But before these things went down, like I'm reading Ezekiel 12, right? Yahweh Shem Shah would plead through the prophets to tell you, like, hey, tighten up, get right, or these things going to come to pass, right? So let's go right here, like, because right now we can title, you've been warned. Like, even on this side, you've been warned, right? You've been warned. There was prophecy that was wrote that came to pass, and there's prophecy that wrote that's going to come to pass. So you've been warned of them all, right? We're telling you all of them, right? And it goes to show you that what? The prophets are still here today. Daniel 12 and 13, the prophets never left their lot, right? Because, before these things happen, as we're going to read Isaiah 42:9, the Most High tell you about them. Jacob's trouble, MOTB, World War III, destruction, Esau come with that great wrath. The Most High has warned you over and over and over, but they don't want to listen. Right, so let's read this. 2 Kings 17, verse 7. It says, "For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord Yahweh with their power, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he had fear of the gods." Right, and understanding that, when he gave us the land of the Canaanites, what he tell us? Deuteronomy 4 and 6, bro. These laws and commandments was to separate us for us not to do the abominations that these nations was doing, right? The wicked things they was doing, right? But watch what Israel did. He said they had fear of the God. Verse 8, right? So they fear other gods. Also, what they do, and walk in the statues of the heathen, whom the Lord Yahweh cast out from before them, it's like before the children of Israel, and of the kings of Israel, which they had made, right? So when we came to the land, the Most High ultimately told us to destroy all of them, but we never destroyed all of them, but to give us laws and commandments not to what? To mingle with them, meaning to what? That mingle meaning to follow their custom, follow their ways, follow their follow things that they was doing, right? It says, and the children of Israel did secretly those things that were not right against the Lord Yahweh with their power. And they built them high places in all their cities, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city. And this is what they was doing, right? Most High told them not to do these things, give us laws, commandments for us not to be a part, do the things that these nations had going on. Guess what? Jake still did them. He says, and they sent them up images and groves and every high hill and every green tree. And there they burnt incense in all the high places, and did the heathen whom the Lord Yahweh had carried away before them, and wrought wicked things to provoke the Lord Yahweh to anger, right? For they serve idols, wherefore the Lord Yahweh had said unto them, you shall not do this thing. It's like he had said unto them, you should not do this thing, right? And this is wrong with a lot of Jake today, right? For one, they think they got time, right? For two, they don't fear Yahweh Shem Shah, right? So watch what he says, right? So he says, yet the Lord Yahweh testified against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets and about all the seers, saying, turn you from your evil ways and keep my commandments and my statutes according to the law which I commanded your fathers, which I sent you by my servants the prophets, right? And the reason I read this is because, when you go at Deuteronomy 28, right, you go Deuteronomy, when we got saved from Egypt, we had the blessings and the curses. See, Most High told him about the blessing, Most High told him about the curses. We used Moses to speak to him about the blessings and the curses. See, Jake didn't fear Yahweh Shem Shah. Jake didn't want to listen to Yahweh Shem Shah, right? So now when these things come upon us, captivity, slave, you can't say you ain't been warned, because you've been warned, right? You either gonna do right and these things will happen, you do right, these things happen. Like in today's time, we telling you, hey, you either gonna tighten up, return to Yahweh Shah, or when these things hit, you gonna be, you gonna be in a confused state, you gonna be lost, you gonna know what the hell's going on. You gonna sell out, you gonna eventually sign your own death certificate, man. Right? You're going to team up with that beast and be destroyed in nuclear destruction. And fire, this place going to go out by nuclear destruction. Fire, we tell you these things. Because these things are coming to pass. But you've been warned about the good things. Also, you've been warned about the bad things. Because why? Before anything happened, Yahweh Shah tells you. Right? Through who? Through his prophets. Right? He said, which I commend your father, which I sent to you by my prophets. Right? So the Most High, the Most High pleased you through his prophets. Right? His servants, the prophets. That's why Amos 3:7 says what? He should do nothing but reveal his secrets unto the prophets. He tell you these things beforehand. And the prophets wrote these things down. Vision, the MOTB, Jacob's trouble, right? World War III, right? Armageddon. Isaiah 34, Isaiah seen the aftermath of America, Armageddon, America going down, America being destroyed, right? Isaiah 13, Isaiah seen Babylon, America being destroyed, right? They seeing these things, and and the prophets are here today to make them plain unto you, right? Let's go out and have a cook, one of the common ones, right? Always a good one. Habakkuk 2, right? In verse 3 says, for the vision is yet for Slaki. I started verse 2. So then the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon the tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. So these things are real. You have things that came to pass. You have things that still got to come to pass. And these things are going to happen, whether you listen or you don't. But you've been warned, right? And at the end, it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So these prophecies they're going to surely come, and in the end they're going to speak. You ain't want to listen then. You ain't want to listen to me and the brother Kakunga Barty the lesson of the day we titled the prophets get the last say so, right? Because as we're going to see, you've been warned. Right now you clown the prophets. You telling them, hey, when will this happen? Right? When this going to go down? Right? Before I get Isaiah, let me go to Ezekiel 12 real fast. Right? Let's go to Ezekiel 12. Right? This is how a lot of Jake think. So during right here, the Most High is using Ezekiel as a sign. Right? Let's go to let's start at verse 11. Right? It says I'll start at verse 10. It says, say thou actually I'll start at verse 8. It says, in the morning came the word of the Lord Yahweh unto me, saying, son of man, hath not the house of Israel, the rebellious house, said unto thee, what doest thou? Right? Because Most High was telling Ezekiel, he was like, look, pack things up. Like, don't take like TV, couches, and all these things. Pack things up as if you going into captivity, like you've been captured. And tell you to get belongings. And you gonna go in there and grab no couch, no TV, no game. You gonna go in there and grab utensils to where you gotta survive on, right? Like, grab these things as if you're going into captivity, right? Because during this time, Jake was going off. Right? So the Most High used Ezekiel as a sign before he told them that what? That the Babylonians would come take over them. But before he was sending the Babylonians over there to lead them, take them into captivity, right? So verse 9, it says, son of man. That's just a little insight on the chat that we'll be going into, right? It says, son of man, had not the house of Israel, the rebellious house, said unto thee, what doest thou? Say unto them, this saith the Lord Yahweh, this burden concerning the prince in Jerusalem and all the house of Israel that are among them. Say, I am your sign, like as I have done, so it shall be done unto them. They shall remove and go into captivity. So you've been warned. You always have been warned. That's what the title of the Lord was, the Spirit, right? You always have been warned, man. He said, and the prince that is among them shall bear upon his shoulder in the twilight and shall go forth. They shall dig through the wall to carry out thereby. He shall cover his face, that he see not the ground with his eyes. My net also will I spread upon him. He shall be taken in my snare, and I will bring him to Babylon, to the land of the Chaldeans, yet shall he not see it, though he shall die there. I will scatter toward every wind all that are about him, all that are about to help him, and his bands, right? And I will draw out the sword after them, and they shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, when I will scatter them among the nations and disperse them in the countries. But I will leave a few men from the sword, from the famine, and from the pestilence, that they may declare all their abomination among the heathen, whether they come, and they shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, right? So Most High is telling Israel to tighten up, right? Or these things will come upon you, right? We go to verse 1. Let me see. The word of the Lord Yahweh also came to me, saying, son of man, thou dwellest in the midst of a rebellious house, which have eyes to see, and see not, they have ears to hear, but hear not, for their rebellious house, talking about Israel. So therefore, thou son of man, prepare thee for removing, and remove by day in their sight, and thou shalt remove from thy place to another place in their sight, it may be they will consider they will be a rebellious house. Right? So he telling them, I read verse 4, it says, then thou shalt bring forth thy stuff and by day in their sight, as for stuff for removing, thou shalt go forth at even in their sight as they that go forth into captivity. So he using them for a sign. If they don't what? They don't return back. They don't get out their rebellious ways. Right? So back at verse verse 17, so moreover the Lord Yahweh came to me saying, son of man, eat thy bread with thy quacking, and drink thy water with trembling, with carefulness, and say unto the people of the land, this is the Lord Yahweh of the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and the land of Israel. They shall eat their bread with carefulness and drink their water with astonishment, that her land may be desolate from all that is therein, because of the violence and all that dwell therein. And the cities that are inhabited shall be laid waste, and the land shall be desolate, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Right? The word of the Lord came to me saying, here's the point. I just read it up so you can get context in it. Because you always been mourned. The Most High uses Ezekiel as a sign to tell you that, hey, if you don't get right, then you're going to go into captivity. You know, if you return back, you're going to be good. I'm using it for your sign. I ain't just making, you know, like I'm going to read Isaiah 42:9. Before these things happen to you, I tell it to you. So you always been warned, you know. You always been warned. See, that's why a lot of Jacob lost today. A lot of Jacob be like, what type of God will send people into captivity? You always been warned, man. Before these things came upon us, for our rebellious ways, for us going off, right? You always been warned about what's going down before it go down, right? It says, son of man, what is this proverb that you have in the land of Israel, saying days are prolonged, every vision failing? And this the mindset of a lot of Jake, thinking they got time, right? Or they don't even fear Yahweh Shai. They don't care what he's saying. They don't care what the prophet's saying, right? You know, they feel like they can get right eventually. Oh, I got time to get myself together, right? I got time to do this. I got time to do that. You know, make no tearing turn to the Lord, because you don't know, man. You don't know how much time you got, right? So verse 23, right? It says, tell them therefore, this says the Lord Yahweh, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand, the effect of every vision. So days are at hand, the effect of every vision, right? So going from, let's go to Isaiah 42, right? Right, Isaiah 42, right? I started verse 8, so the point, right? It says, I am the Lord Yahweh, that is my name, right? And my glory I will not give to another, neither my praise to grave image. This is what a lot of Jake do. Calling on these other names, calling on these other gods, right? Calling these idols. They're giving the glory of Yahweh Shai to another god, to another idol, right? Which Yahweh Shai, all these other gods are idols, right? It's only one true power. Yahweh being the Father, Yahweh Shai is the Son, right? And under Yahweh Shai, you got King David, you got the 12, you got the governing body, which is the elect, right? So it says, verse 9, behold, the former things are come to pass, old prophecies, right? And new things do I declare. Prophecies is going to come to pass today. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them, right? So so you always been warned. Before these things come upon you, or before these things come upon us as a nation, we always been warned. But what? Jake never listened. That's why the Most High said, what? I will make thy forehead strong against their forehead, right? That's notes, right? Former things from the past, meaning things from the past. New things, the Lord Yahweh declared, because the Lord spoke different visions to different prophets. Certain ones fulfilled, some was fulfilled during the time of the prophets being alive, and some are being fulfilled now at this time. Some have yet to be fulfilled, and some are in the midst of it right now. Right, but before all these things happen, what he said, right? Before they spring forth, I tell you of them, right? Like with Apostle John, right? Armageddon. He's seeing an MOTB, he's seeing everybody line up taking that chip, right? These are things that the prophet's seeing, and now they're back today to make them plain to you. Right, but you can't say you ain't know. You can't say that you ain't hear about it. We've been blowing the trumpet for a long time. You always been warned, but Jake just never listened. The Most High has always told these things to you beforehand, right? Before they came upon you, so you can prepare yourself through the Spirit. But a lot of you Jake don't trust. You trust in these idols. You trust in these gods. That's why he said, the trust of Egypt shall be your shame. The trust in these other guys, the trust in America, trust in Trump, trust in all the government, that's going to be your shame, man, when these things come. Because these things going to come upon you, right? Then when they come upon you, then you're going to want to turn to the Lord Yahweh Shai. Well, it's going to be too late then, because you've been warned. If I'm telling you like, hey, right? We outside, I'm telling you, hey, don't go near my dog, he bite, right? And you go over there and the dog, he bite you, right? You going to look at me and be like, man, why you bit me? No, bro, I told you what was going to come. I let you know what would go down, but you just want to be prideful, arrogant, right? You want to be rebellious, right? You want to be disrespectful. You know, you didn't want to listen, right? You know, you ain't had no faith, right? You have no faith to believe what I'm saying. That's how people go against Yahweh Shem Shah. They don't have none of those things, and they don't have faith. They don't have understanding. They don't have none of it. And we know, or we always say, we always let you know that only reason they don't get it is because Yahweh Shem Shah is blocking them to get it. But they wouldn't want to get it even if he wasn't blocking them. Who resisted his will? The Most High knew you weren't gonna get it. He knew you weren't gonna understand it. Right? But you always been warned. We always tell you these things. And that's how the mercy for the Most High is. Even though he still put it in your ear, still put it in your face. Right? But you still reject it. Oh, that ain't gonna go, man. For the fathers have fellowship, when we gonna get out of here then? When is gonna happen then? Y'all was talking we're gonna end this. When is gonna happen then? Oh, y'all saying only people gonna be slaves. It don't even make sense, right? That's how Jake listen. That's how Jake feel, right? So let's go here, right? Ezekiel 3, real fast. I want to go to because ultimately when you understand it, I don't want to end off with Romans 11. I wasn't gonna make this no long one. It's no long one. And this was the fact of you got to understand that. You always been warned, man. Right? That's why the Most High said this, right? He said, I'm not telling you nothing that they should know. Right here, I started verse 5, Ezekiel 3 and 5, right? Verse 4, actually, right? Yeah, he said it to me, just going to eat the whole roll. That roll talking about what is Bible, the truth. Back then, the Bible used to be on scrolls where they got changed to the Bible form, right? The book form it is today. Verse 4 says, he said unto me, son of man, go get thee into the house of Israel and speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of strange speech and having hard language, but to the house of Israel. Meaning what? They should understand it. They should get it, but they won't. It says, not too many people of a strange speech and having hard language, whose words thou cannot understand. Surely I had sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee, but the house of Israel would not hearken unto thee. For they will not hearken unto me, for all the house of Israel are imputed and hard-hearted and disrespectful. They don't want to listen. But you've been warned, though. We telling you, you always been warned. It ain't no saying you can't get it. The Most High sent his servant the prophets to prophesy these things to you. Because ultimately, what? This word is for the elect. At the end of the day, which we're going to read, right? It says, behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead against their forehead. Why? Because they out here persecuting, right? Despising the prophet, treating the prophets bad as hell. And the prophets trying to help them. This is mercy for Yahweh Shem Shah. The word and truth that we're teaching is ultimately the mercy of Yahweh Shem Shah, man. Right? It's ultimately the mercy of Yahweh Shem Shah. It's a warning. That's why he said later in the chat, I go down to it, right? But let's read verse 9, right? It says, an adamant harder than flint have I made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. Moreover, he said unto me, son of man, all my words that I shall speak unto thee, receive in thy heart, talking about thy mind, and hear with thine ears, and go get thee from go get them of the captivity unto the children of thy people, and speak unto them and tell them this at the Lord Yahweh, whether they will hear, whether they forbear. Right? So we're gonna teach the word, teach the truth, whether you listen to it or not. But you can't say you ain't heard it. Right? You can't say nobody ain't told it to you, because you always been warned. We read before these things spring forth, I tell you of them. How you do that? Through the prophets. He's been pleading with you through the prophets for so long. And you get to the point now to where, hey, what Ezekiel say in Romans, please to the Most High? Hey, I seek my life, right? Because they done killed all the prophets. They trying to kill me, I'm gonna jump down, right? I'm gonna jump down to verse 17, right? So you can understand that this word, this truth, this warning has always been from Yahweh Shem Shah. He using these men, these servants, the prophets, to tell you this truth, so that, because the Most High is not slack on his promise. He don't want Jake to be destroyed. He don't want to destroy, but Jake don't want to repent. Jake don't want to return back. So he been giving you warning and warning and warning over and over and over. But eventually, hey, what do he say? Many may know it. Many gonna know it by death and pain. Really paraphrasing. So Ezekiel 3 and verse 17, right? He says, son of man, I have made thee a watchman to the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. This is a warning from Yahweh Shem Shah. You always been warned from Yahweh Shem Shah. You always been warned, right? But guess what? Jake is a rebellious house. Jake is a gang-saying people, man. They don't want to hear, right? So let's go to Romans, right? 11, because when you understand it, right? Ultimately, this word is only for who? This word is only for the elect. The elect are the ones who are going to only people who are going to overcome the destruction, who are going to overcome what's coming to this place is who? The elect. Right? Because the only way to overcome this place was by the blood of the Lamb, word of his testimony. The word of his testimony is spirit of prophecy. Real quick before I read that, that's why in Revelation 1, it reads, it says, the revelation of Yahweh Shah, which Yahweh gave it to him to show it to his servants, the prophets, things which must shortly come to pass. He sent and sanctified it by his angel unto his servant John, who bear record of the word of Yahweh, right? And of the testimony was what? The spirit of prophecy of Yahweh Shah and all the things he saw. But he say, blessed is he that readeth and that heareth the words of this prophecy and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. So blessed those who read it and keep them. Paying attention to the prophecy, watch it. 2 Ezra 9:1, right? Staying focused, measuring the times diligently, right? Being on point. Because these things don't come to pass, and you've been warned, so there's no excuse. There's no excuse to say I ain't know what I'm supposed to do. Nah, you're gonna have the 2/3 out here lost. You're gonna have the elect know what's going on during these times. Isaiah 33:6, wisdom and knowledge to be stability during that time. During these times that we in, Esau trying to gather his evidence, trying to make accusations so he can usher in his new world order, right? This place going down. We had the end of this. Like, it's a lot of things going on around Jake, but Jake's so caught up in the midst of what he caught up in, he don't want to pay attention. But guess what? You've been warned, right? It's like the people who cocky, and we trying to tell you, hey, that building is falling, but you think that these people are lame, these people are weird, these people are, not on your level, so you don't want to listen to them. Then eventually, boom, the building claps on your face, and he looked at you, you looked at everybody around you, and then we telling you like, hey, we've been telling you, you just ain't want to listen, right? That's how a lot of these Jake gonna be in the time of the day of the Lord, right? And even before the day of the Lord come, they definitely gonna be hurt in the day of the Lord, right? When Yahweh Shah come, but Jacob trouble, right? Esau coming out, that great rap, man, a lot of Jake gonna be out here selling out. MOTV, a lot of Jake gonna take it. Why? Because they ain't listen. They ain't gonna know what to do. And Esau uses fear as a controlling tactic. So they ain't gonna know. They ain't gonna know. Because they don't feed Yahweh Shah. They don't know that he already told us these things would come to pass. Because we always been warned, right? So let's go from there back to Romans, right? Romans 11, right? Verse 2. It says, Yahweh hath not cast away his people which he foreknew. Wote ye not the scripture, saith of Elias, talking about Elijah, how he make intercession to Yahweh against Israel, saying, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thy altars, and left alone they seek my life. This is what they did to the prophets, man. Right? But that's what Yahweh Shah shall tell them, right? But what said the answer of Yahweh unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed to the knee of the image of Baal. Even so, at this present time, also there's a remnant according to the election of grace. Because ultimately, this is now to understand this from the truth. Because them are the ones who pay attention to the elect. It's like them are the ones who pay attention to the prophet, who hear what they say, who listen to what they say. Because they understand spiritually it's coming from who? Yahweh Bashin Yahweh Shah. So this truth is ultimately for the elect, man. For them to overcome. Because the only ones who going to overcome is destruction. What's coming upon this place, right, is the elect, man. Only ones who going to overcome is the elect. All the prophecies, Jacob trouble, right? Esau coming to great wrath, Armageddon, right? All these things, right? Yahweh Shah and the chariots coming to beat this place up, nuclear destruction. Only ones who going to overcome is the elect. Everybody else going to be caught up and destroyed because they didn't pay attention to the warning. But you always been warned, though. There's no excuse. There's no cloak for your sin. Right? What was that, John 15:22? There's no cloak. There's no excuse for nothing. For there's nothing you can say, right? Because the Most High going to use the prophets as a witness, man. We didn't know this. Nah, you knew. I've been speaking to my prophets for longer. This is you was spiritually discerned, and you were so trusting in Esau, Edom, his system, and these other nations, and their system, their gods, and their religions, and their custom. You didn't want to listen to the true friends of Yahweh Shah, the true prophets of Yahweh Shah, the true servants of Yahweh Shah. You didn't want to listen to them, right? But you always been warned, man, right? So let's go back to Isaiah 42, right? And now let's read it again before we close it out, right? Because it's the whole point of it, right? It says, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them, right? So before these prophecies come upon you, before you went into captivity, even now, before this place go up in nuclear destruction, flame all over everything you see right now, if you watch this, Lord willing, watch this video, Lord willing, right? It's edifying, exalting. Right, but you go outside right now and look around, everything you see, right? All that shit gonna be burnt up and destroyed. Yahweh Shah is gonna destroy it all, right? But Lord willing, you take heed. Lord willing, we take heed. Lord willing, we are the elect. So we pray that humility, we call ourselves the hopefully elect. Lord willing, we are that hopefully elect, man. Right? We hope to be of the elect, right? The hopefully elect, man. To we're found worthy to overcome, man. To fight and stay strong because we pay attention to one. We take Yahweh Shah overly serious. That's why we don't fear nothing or care about nothing that's going on in this world. Because he gave us, that's the mercy of Yahweh Shah, man. Right? That's the mercy of Yahweh Shah. Heavy mercy, man. That's heavy mercy of him even telling us what he gonna do right before he does it. So he giving us a chance to correct. So that's why if you don't take heed to this warning, you a damn fool, man. You a damn fool, right? You a damn fool, you know. But hey, read it again one more time. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Talking about prophecies before they spring forth, I tell you of them. So before these things come, right? He tell you of them. How does he do that? Through his prophets. So if you don't want to listen to the prophets, you want to listen to the men of Yahweh, Luke 10-16, right? They hear you, they hear me. But he that despises you, despises me. He that despises me, despises him that sent me, man. Right? So Lord willing, right? I hope the lesson was quick, edifying, and exalting, right? And I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shout out to the whole elect, starting with the 144,000. Shalom.